Now you spread it around the world. Now, when you spread it around the world, we didn't see that. We didn't see that. We didn't see that. Now they're saying that the Chinese people are here underground, hybridizing rats and all types of shit with this virus to spread across and loose all these rats all around the world. So this is probably how they using their delivery because rats spread. You know what I'm saying? And this is how and they all they have to do is drop them off in different areas, and they'll spread out as they breed and so forth and so on. But they'll also affect, however, the delivery of the infection in those mice, what I'm saying, is going to spread mad disease all across the United States. So if they're here underground doing this bullshit, why isn't the government doing anything about it? Because we know that the demon Democrats have sold us out incompletely to these people, movie stars, Hollywood, and all of them, to bring to be, and then they have to go along with whatever plans that they are using to attack the American people, allowing China to come in and do some shit like that in our country and attack the American people. So we know that the Joe Biden administration and the demon Democrats and many others probably in the Republican Party as well, what I'm saying, has been going along with this diseaseable biological attack program on the United States and other countries as a whole. Because there is no way that you can have a lab leak that was spread globally across the world unless you know for a fact that these people is involved, you're involved with them. The same people you saying it came from and did this and that and the third is the same people in the CCP, the Communist Chinese Party, and their agents all across the United States doing bullshit, and you have sold the American people out to these motherfuckers. So what the fuck is you talking about, Donald Trump, for? You garbage. Don't give me that bullshit. Because for you to say there was a leak in the first place means that somebody took it from the laboratory and brought it out because it don't walk. And it's not blowing in the air. So we know that might be one of the attacks coming up. And them releasing these certain things in the air and also with these different rats and animals that they're hybridizing on the ground, the CCP and the Chinese Communist Party and the rest of them motherfuckers ain't gonna lose that in our country. Our country is too bent on its freedom without protection. Leaving that up to others until a catastrophe or something happens, and then you run to the same people who fuck you up and set you up in collaboration with our very own enemy. You talking about treason and espionage? Well, there it is. Because there is no way you're going to tell me that that leak from that laboratory, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that was used as a decoy of belief to make people believe that it came from somewhere and spread across the earth. So now we got to take this measure real quick to make sure that we don't. But how many people did that measure save? More people and many people are dying from that today. So what did it save? Since it was such life-saving, according to Kamala and Coleman and the rest of them jackasses. How life-saving was it? This was an orchestrated biological attack on the United States. And I'm afraid to say that it's already too late. Because it has been administered under the guise of a fake ass leak that you said leaked from the Winnow Laboratory all across the world. When we look at the research center and how you collaborated, we see the connection in all ways. So it would not have leaked from a virology lab and spread. There is no way. There is no possible way that that story has any validity other than the fact, if that is so, that it was hybridized, bottled, and taken out around the world or in the United States to see that they were bringing it in. And who brought it? Americans. movie stars, actors, people, activists, and so on, certain people who were involved, saying, Caucasian and CCP members. You know what I'm saying? So we know full well that you're full of shit. Now, when we look at the hip hop artists, what did they say to protect yourself from it other than tell you to do what they told you to do? So we know that they in bed with them as well. And this goes for Hollywood in itself. So these people are taking their money and they're paying out millions of dollars that they got probably from our fucking country, paying out these people in our country to go along with the garbage in itself. That's why LeBron James and Steph Curry said that bullshit. And the rest of whoever else utter that type of shit out their mouth. So we know that any leak that took place in China could not have leaked to the United States. There is no way. So we know for well that it was already bottled, put in boxes, boxed up, and Como used that strategy talking about they're gonna put it in the freezer and use the refrigeration shit, and they're gonna fly it in, and everybody gonna get and nobody should steal it. They're gonna put a device on it to make sure anybody tries to steal it. They're gonna put a tracking device and all types of shit on it. Oh yeah, because it was already here in the form of the juicing program. So to get it in and do the damage, you created a Wu story. Even if you were doing the research, it still wouldn't have said that it leaked from that laboratory across the globe and became a global event. There's no way that would have happened. And it wouldn't have happened that fast and that quick. Now, even when we look at the development of their so-called cure or protection against, you know what I'm saying, and how fast it was developed, tells me that it was already developed, bottled, boxed for people when they pulled the story and they told people that they're gonna have to do this and get this and that and the third. You know what I'm saying? They already had that. That is why they rushed, because there was a time frame here somewhere. So this is why we saw the development, being developed in less than a week, a month, or 2 months, or less, because they already had it. So the timing was everything with Anthony Fauci, the blood clot sellout of America, weasel, traitorous ass. At the highest level of crime on planet Earth, him and a whole lot of other motherfuckers are in collaboration against the United States and the people, the general people of the fucking world. So they're on a one world order take over our country and making sure that they put this junk into people. You see? So that was already developed. So while people were sitting and talking about, oh yeah, they developed it in less than a couple of weeks, or they had the cure or the protection of this stuff, and they said they were going to develop it, and it was developed in less than a couple of months. And anybody knows that anytime you create that type of cure using that method, you must do more research, and it takes about 10 years or more to really develop that shit. But we're relying on them to develop it, not the general public. So when they pull this trick like Anthony Fauci do in many countries prior to what we see now, he has been going around along with these people delivering these biological diseases in people's countries, and then taking this shit that they call themselves giving them a cure and putting in them the real shit now. So when we look at the numbers of how many people are dying based on their so-called cure, you know what I'm saying, we see the numbers are higher on one side. So they actually put that into people. whatever that shit is. And then the World Health Organization, the CDC, and the rest of these people went along right along with it because Bill Gates and the rest of these rich motherfuckers is controlling those institutions, along with creepy Joe Biden is being controlled, and these presidents are in bed with the CTP and all these French, all these different people and all this stuff, all in one pot, and this is one of their holy apocalyptic plan that they have been doing for not just now, but for very many years. So we know that they're creating these things, you know what I'm saying? And then using the fact of doing this and saying that there is a polio virus, let's use that as an example. They go over, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, a couple people, and then say, see, they got the polio. You know what I'm saying? Same thing Como did. And then next thing you know, they bring in this joint and pumping it into people. And that joint they brought in was the actual delivery of the damage of the fucking fire that they want to bring into your ass. And you went right along with it without any proper research or any background check or anything at all, believing the Wu Dao story. I don't believe none of those fucking stories. The only thing I believe is that you have hybridized that motherfucker and or using these diseases and these methods to say you're giving them something to be able to block it, as the blocker is the damager itself. It's not a cure. That's what they wanted to do to you in the first place, was put it in your ass. And many countries should be ashamed of their fucking self to be involved in something like this. And we should be ashamed too to even have somebody like Bill Gates, Soros, Anthony Fauci, the killing motherfucking weasel, and all these nasty-handed set of nasty motherfuckers. Because when we look at that, that's one of the nastiest things you could do to a human being. Put any type of chemical or anything into them that would kill them. But telling them there's a great virus, we got to dig and start to develop these things, and there's a great virus. Obama used to say this. There's a great virus. Hillary Clinton. There's a great virus coming, and we got to start to develop these methods. But really, the method is what they already have and want to put into you. But using that virus shit that they're developing or whatever they call themselves doing as a way to fool the general public into believing that this happened. Now, if we say there's a leak, back to the leak again, why is no one standing trial in any shape or form? Why are we seeing more prosecution and more of this going on other than the fact of a bunch of rhetoric in Congress? Accusing, and so forth. Well, not accusing, but saying that this is something that they did. Why is it not? Nobody is on trial. Nobody really. Fauci isn't in jail. He's still running around doing the same shit he was doing, pumping out more of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And probably have a holy plan to put it on our ass. Because this, to me, is lightweight. So we have to start to look at this more better. You know what I'm saying? In more ways. We even see Donald Trump even calls a black DA, Fannie, whatever her name is, Wills, a young racist, claiming she had an affair with a gang member. I believe that. I believe that shit. I believe that. And when we look at many of these people that involve in our courts and this and that, and they're the most corrupted motherfuckers on planet Earth. And they're in bed with everybody else. So whether she had a relationship with a gang member or not, We know that gangs were created how? It wasn't created naturally by black people in a sense. Not that type of gangery. You know what I'm saying? Of killing and murdering our people. That was created by them. And the mind frame was twisted in itself by these leaders of these gangs to kill their own people. So almost what's the name? Umo, I think his name is Umo say Jamal. You know who I'm talking about. Umo say Jamal that they locked up made a claim years ago, and he said that they were using this gang thing to keep black people in check and under the decree of all that garbage in itself to police the people. Really, you know what I'm saying? They used the gangs, so they created all this to terrorize the black people even more. That's why I'm saying a lot of these OGs got to start to get off that and tell them to chill out with that shit and bring liberation. You could still have that so-called power you enjoy, but you got to get off, I'll be honest with you, the Caucasian balls who set you up in this, you know what I'm saying? And we know it's the crew. We know the crew have a lot to do with it. And the crew plays innocent in all ways by saying anti-Semitic. That's their favorite word. And that goes for the Arab boy and people from India and shit like that. You didn't come into Africa with no motherfucking peace and unity. You came into that motherfucker as a racist, garbage piece of shit. And you brought that upon African people, and you continuing down the road with it today. Because you have made the world under a religious, cultic, you know what I'm saying, Baphometical garbage to believe in your shit. You have come over here, your dog ass, your monkey Reese's dog ass on this planet and going around acting as if by using some scriptural Bible and some fake ass fucking religion that you stole and remixed and tried to tell the whole world that we mud and you heaven. So we don't have no origin and know where the fuck we came from other than we call a coon, a mud person, and eggplant, and all type of races. You garbage. And when we look at your DNA, your hair, and your skin, we see the trash in you. You are not human to our complex. So this is why you do what you do on this earth. But you have the common people of the same race who needs to put check upon these leaders and these different people bringing that religion and brainwashing your dumbass into facilitating down the road and bringing that shit into our country and acting it out when you see a black man. So you are helping the beast in itself because you are a part of him. Because when you come over here, you don't come over here with that boo. You come over here with garbage. You act like you're higher than everybody else because you're an Arab warrior from Pakistan or somewhere and got this bullshit in your mentality that you grew up with, which is shit. We see the white people do the same thing, which is shit. We see Caucasian invading Chinese or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, which is still Caucasian and still dumb shit. And you got the people over there doing all kind of fuckery to them. Oh, you should see the shit across this planet that they do. Then you go to Africa, you got African leaders over there in bed with these motherfuckers doing the same shit and probably were doing it even worse before that because they were full of shit then, they're full of shit now. You are garbage to planet Earth while you sit here and do the bullshit that you do. And be running it for years and years and years. To the point you feel that you could just go around and do anything to anybody on this planet or to all countries and nobody will do a fucking thing. Just like the woman was trying to get her stuff out in, I think it was India or Pakistan, was trying to get her stuff out the house, you know, because I guess they were evicting her or whatever, and she didn't move and she had no place to go, and she was getting her stuff out of the house, you know what I'm saying? And they bulldozed the house and caved the house in on the woman and killed her. And otherwise goddess. This is the shit they do. And talking about diseases and all that, they've been doing that shit for motherfucking years. So Corona ain't no more than another one of their plans to get that into you through using that method in which we saw that creep Joe Biden say 80%, 90% of the people got to do it, and they got to shut down the medias and all kinds of talk with Mark Zuckerberg because it's causing hesitancy, misinformation, and disinformation. You full of fuck. And anybody that goes along with that shit, you full of fuck too. Because what we seen you do to the population of people across this planet just now and before that shows that you have been creating these diseases and injecting it into people. Then when somebody says something, they're in a violation of the World Health Organization, the CDC, because we know who fund your ass, Billy fucking Gold Gates. And all these rich people that bought out the stocks of this and that and have all the control over your ass. So rather than you practice good medicine, you are practicing a beastly type individual shit. That is why you put 6 Baphomet statues in front of 6 state buildings in the South. You garbage then, and you garbage now. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And now you're trying to tie yourself with all this Trumpy stuff. You know what I'm saying? While you are guilty, more guiltier than probably him. And if he's involved, he's just as guilty as well. But we know for well that your creepy ass, from the Biden administration to all the demon Democrats going back 40, 50, 60 years, and those in the secret society, deep state, and all types of all. I'm not going to even call the secret society names. I'm just going to gather them all up into one bunch like Trump did. They call the deep state. I don't care what it's Illuminati, Freemason, gangs, actors, Hollywood, whatever. They're in the deep state of darkness and dark money. So don't give me that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talking about Trump legal drama grows by the day. No, your bullshitical lying ass to the American people have grown for many, many years. You have done the world wrong, and you continue to do so, and want everybody else to not see nothing, say nothing, shut the fuck up, and do as we tell you, and we're gonna slam bam tank your ass anytime we want to, ma'am. The American people has got to grow up past this. It's high time that you start to wise up to the garbage in which they are doing and how they're using these different ideologies and religions and bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Talking about reading murder books, trying to stay here, and all kinds of bullshit. Who the fuck read murder books? And that's it. You see the garbage? And there's a lot of Caucasians years ago in the rock era and shit were doing that. They would actually put on magazines of people being murdered. You see what I'm saying? They would put up propaganda just like China is doing. Every time you look around, you see the cartoons that they show in America. They always show one of the characters, even in that cartoon or whatever that the little kid watch. With I think it's called Labrador, Officer Labrador, whatever, Police Labrador, whatever. You see the one who's always scared, cowardly, the one who's brave, sometimes cowardly. You know what I'm saying? Is his partner, but it's a black dog. You're using these racist, redneck, fucking idiots, and you're talking about Chinese. You ain't Chinese. That's a new name. That's an invasion of that country. It was never named that. You renamed it that after you raped the black woman, enslaved the people, raped the black woman and breeded all them bastard motherfuckers you see today. And then the other ones come in from the mountains, the Caucasians, whatever, and came in and bastardized your ass even more. So now instead of going back black, you went straight up to their genome. And you probably always had their genome, but you stole the eyes of Egyptians in this process of genetical genocide, sexual genetical genocide. You garbage, you trash. And the reason why you do these things to black people, that goes for the Ottoman Turks, the Arab boy, and the crew. Talking about you all up in Egypt, talking about a holy land. You full of shit. You are lying, conniving, crooked, twisted, bumphead, baldhead, bumphead boy. And that's all you have ever been. And you have psychologically brainwashed the world into thinking that black is bad and black is dark and black is this, and your skin and your color is superior, white as snow and all of this and that. You know what I'm saying? I look for the white people who have some goddamn sense past that bullshit. And I know there is. You know in your heart and in your mind and in your soul that all that shit that they've stuffed down your throat and even use it to make you go against black people, hurt black people, and continue to protect that shit to hurt the natural people of earth, you know is wrong. So I'm looking for you to stand up rather than be a fucking monkey ass follower. And you need to cut, and that goes for Pakistan, India, and all the countries in the world. I'm asking you now to use your mentality to overlook the garbage in which they stuff down your throat, talking about some religion and all this remix shit, and look for the truth and the true facts in the world that you live, that you know it all that they stole and still stealing and still occupying today does not belong to them. Not only that, look for the truth in it to find your way to be able for us to be a collaboration of a one world order ourselves. Let them keep their bullshit. Do not be a part of that. Because in the end, like I said, and I'll say it again, betrayal is a son of a bitch. So this is Point Black saying, stay right, stay tight, and Steve will fight. We ain't giving up. Never. So you could forget it. We know what the fuck you did. You understand? We are not going quietly into the night. And if we do and pass away from this light, then you will always remember what was said. If you continue to go along with this shit, in the end, betrayal will be a motherfucker. Do not tell anyone then that you were not told. Do not tell anyone then that you did not know. You know what I'm saying? The only ones that could be was the new generation, that or the new children being born long after it comes to that point, because you didn't educate them. You told them about some gang shit and all kinds of bullshit. You facilitate and use our own creation against us. So you can fool the world into believing what you say, what you did, has any truth and validity to anything at all. Like I said, this is not about the S-O-N or the S-U-N, coming from the great General Sorrow Sultan said, no man precedes his mother. Your mother came before you, whether you're man, woman, or child. The mother comes first. In the construct of that, the black woman is God. That's why you went around the world raping and whitewashing the black woman in yourself. So don't give me that. You've been doing that a long time. And black people helped you. Not all, but the ones that were involved with the shit. Same go on the Caucasian side, the ones that's involved with the shit. And then you have secular individuals that are born within these different populations who have a sick set of mind. No matter whether they're black, white, green, or purple, you have a lot of them who will sit in offices and have a carnal fucking brain. That when you walk in that office, rather than help you, they'd rather tell you some shit, figure you a nigga, so we don't give a flying fuck. And then you even have, like one time I went to an office and I had an argument. I mentioned this before. Now, after the argument was done, I didn't hit anybody. I spoke my piece. I said what I said, and I left out. Next thing I know, a black guy comes out the building. He's walking like he's going to his car and heard me talking and said, I said, yeah, and so forth and so on. And then he switched the subject where he was creating a fight with me so he could beat me up in the parking lot in front of the people who I had to dispute with in the office building. I forgot what it was. But I argued with them, I did that, and I left out. I didn't call no police, I didn't hit anybody, I didn't touch it. But this black ass fucking nigga, I forgot where it was up the island somewhere, comes out, try to act like he's chilling in the parking lot, and then start, and talking loud and trying to create a fight with me so he could beat me up in the parking lot to show the white people that the nigga beat the fucking nigga up. You are garbage! That goes for Black Lives Matter and the rest of your black ass, nigga ass, sellout fucking ass, balls licking motherfucking clowns. And that goes for in Africa as well. And all over this planet. You have allowed their mentality to overtake yours. In the truth of the matter of the facts in itself. To cover it up and hide it. But you can't hide it no more. Teach the children right. So this is Point Black saying, farewell. One, we will meet again.